Episode 213. Envy aside, the others weren't about to be outdone. Some unleashed sharp spells, others summoned even more ingenious magic tools, launching the next wave of attacks first. In an instant, the scene erupted, light soaring to the heavens, magic tools dancing wildly. As for Han Li, he didn't use a talisman treasure or the awe-inspiring giant sword technique from earlier. Instead, he opted for the most effortless method. With a casual wave of his hands, several heavy thuds rang out, and 4 puppet beasts materialized before him.
The puppet beasts had barely opened their icy eyes before they bared their blood-red maws, and several beams of light shot forth like long white chains, slamming into their target with brutal force.
Han Li stood behind them, taking the opportunity to recover the magic power he had expended in the previous battle.
We haven't even seen the Black Fiend cult leader yet. I'm not about to go all out and drain my magic power dry for nothing. I decided before this battle began to conserve my magic power, just in case. Otherwise, if my magic power ran out, no matter how many skills or tricks I had, they'd be utterly useless.
The puppet beasts had barely appeared before the other disciples glanced over with mild surprise, but they quickly returned to their own tasks. After all, what techniques one cultivates and what methods one practices are personal secrets. No one would be so tactless as to go around prying into them. At that moment, Lu Jing's golden talisman activated successfully. With a slight tremor, he transformed into a beam of golden light, soaring above the blood-colored light sword. Then, with a soft popping sound, the golden light burst into a shower of shimmering droplets, drifting down like a dream, ethereal and enchanting. After a dizzying sequence of hand seals from Lu Jing, the countless specks of light warped and twisted, gradually contracting and elongating into a host of golden miniature swords.
Though each was only an inch long, they radiated a biting chill and were razor sharp. This sight stunned everyone present, except for the 2 still driving their magic treasures.
Metal-type spells are already the rarest among the 5 elemental arts, and most of them are auxiliary spells like Golden Armor Technique or Iron Skin Technique. How did Lu Jing manage to create a talisman that's not only an offensive metal element spell, but a mid-grade or higher area of effect one at that?
Even Han Li and the others slowed their pace, all wanting to see what was so remarkable about this spell.
At that moment, thousands of gleaming golden swords hung suspended above the blade. Lu Jing chanted the incantation, and those small golden blades rained down like hailstones, stabbing straight into the blood-red mass below.
Then a series of muffled stabs filled the air. Golden light and blood light intertwined, sending sparks flying in all directions like fireworks.
The light swords that had remained utterly unchanged under others' attacks now underwent a transformation under this onslaught. The blood light surged violently, actively thickening itself, and collided with the relentless incoming light swords in an even fiercer clash.
Lu Jing saw this and felt pleased rather than worried. Since he had forced the light sword to undergo its first change, it meant his attacks were effective. As long as he intensified his assault, he could still break through the blood light.
But by now, most of the smaller swords in the air had fallen, yet the blood-red glow on the light sword remained as vivid as ever, as if the formation still held strong.
Senior brother Lu, I'll lend you a hand.
The gray talisman in Song Meng's hand had already transformed, condensing into a short gray spear several feet long, its entire body wreathed in eerie gray mist.
Focus on taking out the blood guard on the left first. Don't spread our attacks.
Finally, Lu Jing pointed at the remaining small swords, and in an instant all the golden blades tightened their formation, converging into a concentrated storm of strikes aimed at the icy, crystallized mass on the left.
After a thunderous rumble, the crowd looked closely and saw that the blood light of the flying swords had noticeably shrunk.
Seeing this tactic work, Han Li and the others turned their attacks, spells, magic tools, and puppet beasts toward the left. The blood-colored cocoon instantly wore down to a mere thin layer, the figure inside now faintly visible. In the end, that gray spear pierced straight through with a single strike, followed by a roar of furious shock. Then, two gleaming white claws shot out from the bloodlight, slashing wildly in a blur, tearing the last of the bloodlight to shreds and revealing the true face of the figure within.
It was a half-demonized white monster. At first glance, its face was strikingly delicate, but two small white horns jutted from its head, and a foot-long pure white tail grew from its hips. Its surface shimmered with pale white scales, its two claws razor-sharp, while layers of translucent, milky white demonic patterns covered its body. At its shoulder gaped a bloody hole as wide as a bowl. The surrounding flesh writhed and contracted without pause, a sight that made one's skin crawl. In the blink of an eye, the bloody hole was already knitting itself closed, nearly healed.
You're asking for death.
The ice fiend, only halfway through its transformation, still retained enough of its wits.
Even without a full transformation, this demon god's traits are enough to buy me time until my comrades finish theirs.
Lu Jing and the others, who had never seen a demonic transformation before, all paled at the sight of his terrifying form. Shock and unease churned within them.
In an instant, several streaks of white light shot forth and struck the ice fiend's bare torso, sending him crashing to the ground in a flurry of embarrassment.
This was Han Li, who had no patience for idle chatter, launching his puppet technique's attack.
The others finally snapped out of it, and the stalled assault resumed, crashing down like a storm. But the fallen ice demon emitted a chilling mist, and when it cleared, the creature had vanished into thin air.
What's going on? How did it disappear?
Search carefully. This usually means the opponent used some kind of escape technique to flee the spot, but they can't have gone far. Everyone searched high and low, but aside from the three faintly glowing cocoons, there wasn't a single soul in sight.
Those ordinary Black Fiend sect disciples weren't stupid either. They'd long since fled the scene. Han Li's heart tightened. A sudden thought struck him, and he hastily slapped his storage pouch. The white scale shield and the tortoise-shell magic tool shot out simultaneously, whirling rapidly around him.
Fellow disciples, be careful. This man is hiding his presence.
No sooner had Han Li spoken than a woman's scream rang out, startling everyone into turning to look. The very moment Han Li's cry rang out, a woman's scream suddenly pierced the air. Everyone whipped around in shock. There, lying on the ground where she had been channeling her magic treasure, was senior apprentice sister Chen Chao Chen. She had fallen backward into a pool of blood. A gaping hole had torn open in her chest, as if a hand had plunged straight through and crushed her heart to pulp. Her delicate face twisted in agony, her limbs twitching uncontrollably, her eyes filled with an expression of disbelief and terror. After a final flicker of unwillingness, her pupils went still. She had lost her life completely.
Xiao Hong, presumably her dual cultivation partner, let out a heart-wrenching cry. Then, with a sweep of his hands, a streak of black light shot forth, circling the woman's corpse and whirling wildly in a frantic search for the ice demon that had slain her.
That senior apprentice sister really died unjustly. If she hadn't let her competitive streak get the better of her and used that talisman treasure, she might still be alive and well right now. Before she activated the talisman treasure, that senior apprentice sister had a lightweight defensive magic tool floating at her side the entire time. But because she wanted to shorten the talisman's activation time and save some magic power, she carelessly withdrew it. Without that protection, she lost her life. When I activated that spear talisman treasure, I didn't use any defensive measures either. It's just that my talisman treasure was weaker, so I activated it first. Otherwise, who knows which one of us that hidden ice fiend would have ambushed.
In truth, not many of Han Li and the others had activated their defensive magic tools during the initial assault. After all, the light scissors were just targets that couldn't fight back, so why waste magic power on extra protection? But now, seeing that senior sister die with her heart torn out, and hearing Han Li's warning, the others felt cold sweat trickling down their backs. They immediately summoned their protective magic tools and shields, bracing for the sinister enemy's next strike. But what left them utterly baffled was this. No matter what spell or magic tool they used, they couldn't track the fiend's trail at all. Even when someone did catch a fleeting glimpse, before they could feel a flicker of hope, the fiend would vanish again just as abruptly.
This fiend seems to be moving at high speed, and he's already fully translucent. Forget the naked eye, even a highly spiritual magic tool can't lock onto him effectively. He shakes it off in just a few moves.
Now everyone was gripped by a growing sense of dread, their hearts pounding as they constantly scanned their surroundings for any sign of movement. The half-demonized ice fiend alone had them completely pinned down, unable to make a single move. Only Han Li watched the scene unfold, a strange expression flickering across his face. That senior brother Wang, who had once fought alongside Han Li, had never witnessed such a bloody scene before. His face was deathly pale, fear plain in his eyes.
Not long ago, my senior sister was laughing and chatting with me, and now she's died so miserably. It's like a dream. This is nothing like the grand victory I imagined, where we'd crush the enemy with ease.
At that thought, he glanced at the Blood Sisters' dual cultivation senior brother, who was now like a madman, and his expression darkened further. Just as he stood there, lost and helpless, a transparent, icy claw materialized from thin air behind him and drove itself viciously toward his heart. Fortunately, senior brother Wang's protective magic tool, a small bronze shield, was quick-witted enough. Before he could even command it, the shield flashed and shifted into position, perfectly blocking the strike. With a soft clang, the icy claw was deflected, but the bronze shield was instantly coated in a thick layer of frost, dropping straight to the ground and losing its spiritual nature for the time being.